So what is going on, guys? Welcome to episode 5 of Road to Informer Ben. And in the top corner you might be able to see 158k, well just under 159 actually. So straight away I go ahead and spend all this, as you can see now. And again I have like 3,300 coins, but same as last episode, I didn't want to just spend it for the sake of it. And as you can see by my trade pile, I went a bit inform mad on this episode. But anyway, we're starting off with a Thierry Henry, 4-3-1-2 and then centre forward, you know. Pretty decent stats on his card as well. I think this was the week he come out. So bought for 23k and then listed for 36. Moving on to this Pizek, I think that says, guys. You'll have to forgive me on the pronunciation on that one. But bought in 4-1-2-1-2. You know, decent stats on his card again. Bought for 20k and ended up listing him for just over 31k by now. Moving on to this Cesares, I think that says, pretty horrible formation to be honest. Bought for 15k and then I end up listing him for just under 20k. Then we're moving on to this Fernando Llorente, you know, pretty crap formation again. Also not the best position because he's normally an ST, but nevertheless bought for 17k and then I ended up listing him for just over 26. Then we're moving on to this Huntelaar, 4-3-3. You know, not the best pace for a striker, I've got to admit that. But anyway, I bought for 25,500 and end up listing him for just over 41k. Moving on to this another Cesares, right back, better formation this time. Bought for 13k. I'm not too sure, but I think that was lower than the first one, but I'm not 100% sure. Yep. And then selling him for 19,750, same as the last one. Then we're moving on to this guy again. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name again because I'm making myself look stupid. But anyway, bought for 20k and end up listing him. Whoa, went way too far there. Yeah, end up listing him for, I forgot what I listed the last one for, and I just missed what I listed that one for. Sorry about that, guys. But moving on to probably the buy of the series so far. An 86 Kagawa, bought for 22k, and then I end up listing him for 48k. He's the 86 version as well, and he actually goes for that, guys, so I was absolutely chuffed with that. So, the screen's just going to switch now, and you'll see everyone sold, and also the next lot of trades. So as you can see, 8 by the trading, that means everyone's just sold. So, we're starting off with this guy, sold for 26k and then sold for 28, so Geezer made a bit of a profit. Moving on to the Thierry Henry, sold for 26,750. Moving on to the first Cesares, he was sold for 15,500. Moving on to Fernando Llorente, he was sold for 22k and then sold for 28. That's a horrible trading by me, to be honest. Moving on to the Huntelaar, who was sold for 25,750. Then to the second Cesares, sold for 14,250, I think. Yeah, 14,250. And then moving on to the second, not going to try and pronounce his name, but sold for 22,750. And then look at this, guys, this Kagawa sold for 4,500. I bought it for 22k, remember, so that's like 18k profit, near enough. So moving on. And our first trade for this set of trades is the new Informer Reles. Bought for 48k, and his price is actually like this. I'm doing this commentary about a week after these trades, and his price has gone down massively now, guys, which is really a shame because his stats are just really good. But anyways, I'll end up listing him for 46. Moving on to this Hernandez, who actually found on the 59th minute, so I just bought him now straight away. 3,100 I found him for, and then listing for 5,400, and he actually goes pretty quickly at that. Moving on to this Cesc Fabregas in a pretty terrible formation, but anyway, bought for 25,750, and I end up listing him for 36,500. I'm doing these overnight, by the way, guys. Moving on to this Dani Alves, who's actually a really good deal. Not the best formation, also not the best position. You know, right wing back's never going to go for as much as the right back. But anyway, bought for 47,500, and then end up listing him for 49k, and he goes at that. And then moving on to this informed Vla, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, he's a silver informed centre back, and he was actually a real pain to sell, guys, because I was actually, because there was only about 4 of him on the market, and I was listing mine at the cheapest, but he just won't go for some reason. But he did actually go in the end. But anyway, so listed for 72k. So the screens are just going to switch now, guys, and you'll be able to see everyone sold again. So as you can see, we've reached the 200k mark. So, you know, just over 200k. Chuffed at that, to be honest. So going into our trade pile, this Morales sold for 52,500. Moving on to the Hernandez, this sold for 5,400. I actually forgot to go on the little screen showing you how much it was sold for. I apologise for that, guys. This Fabregas was sold for 28k. Dani Alves sold for 59k, so decent profit there. And then this Inform Silver eventually sold for 65k after listing it for about 4 times. So moving on to this screen now, guys. Total amount of trades in this episode was 13. The amount I had before I started buying was 158. I had 201 after I'd sold everything. So that means for this episode there was a 43k profit, which is really nice, to be honest. So we're coming up to the end of this episode now, guys. I'd just like to thank you just for the support we're getting on our channel, and also on this series, because it seems that you guys are loving it. So please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe, as I say every episode, and just not to miss out on any of the other episodes. And yeah, I'll see you next time then, guys.